Hello everyone, I am Samita Vardekar. I welcome you all to this video on digital forensics presented by the Thetechunique Security. So, in this video, we will see what is digital forensics, why it is important, the different types of digital evidences, how to preserve and collect the digital evidences. In that, we'll see volatility and chain of custody, the investigation process, and the tools used in investigation process. Lastly, the conclusion. So basically, by the end of the video, you'll be able to understand what is digital forensics and its wide applications. So as we know, cyber crimes are increasing day by day. Digital forensics has become more evident now. Digital forensics is basically a branch of forensic science which deals with the process of identification, collection, preservation, examination, and presentation of digital evidence in a way that is legally admissible in a court of law. Different types of investigative tools and techniques are used for analyzing the data which is gathered from different digital devices, such as computers, networks, mobile devices, or other storage medias. The main aim of digital forensics is to identify and analyze the data that helps in investigation of a crime case. Next, we'll see why digital forensics is important. So there are some reasons for that. First, it is crime investigation and resolution. Digital forensics helps the investigative agencies to solve the crimes that involves different types of digital devices. Those crimes may include cyber attacks, frauds, or identity thefts. Next, it is data breach response. It helps the organizations to respond to data breaches that compromise their confidential information. Such information may involve customer data or financial records. Next is incident response. So, digital forensics helps the organizations to respond to the particular incidents that affects their normal operations, means system failures, network disruptions, or any malware infection. And in case of legal proceedings, digital forensics helps the investigative agencies to submit the evidence which is legally admissible and accurate report in the court of the law. It ensures that the authenticity of the evidence it is maintained throughout the investigation process. Digital forensics also helps the organizations to comply with the laws and regulations that are necessary for proper handling and protection of digital data, which comes under regulatory compliance. So these were all the importances of digital forensics. Next, we'll see what is meant by digital evidence, which is one of the most important point of digital forensics. Digital evidence means any kind of data that is stored or transmitted in a digital form. It helps in investigation of a crime case and it also supports the legal process. So digital evidence is found in different places and different forms. So they are mainly categorized into four types. That is stored data, transient data, network data, and embedded data. Stored data. This type of data is stored on different storage devices or medias like computers, USB drives, hard disks, memory cards in the form of files, folders, messages, documents, images, and videos. Next, it is transient data. This data is temporarily stored in a memory of a device such as random access memory or CPU or any browser. Next, it's network data. This type of data is sent or received over a network such as internet or LAN WAN. For example, if we want to find out who someone communicated with online, then we can analyze the packets those are transmitted over the network during the communication. Also, we can find some IP addresses using different tools. Next, it is embedded data. This data is hidden or it is attached with other data like metadata of any file, steganography or watermarking. Steganography means hiding any information or data within a file or image. For example, if we want to find out any information about an image, then we can look for the timestamp, means the date and time when the image was created, geolocation, when the GPS coordinates were inserted in the image, and also the ownership of that image. So these are the characteristics which is embedded within the image. This comes under embedded data. So these are some pictures of the digital evidences like storage devices, which includes hard disk, memory cards, compact drives, etc. Also the transient data, which includes cache and cookies, and steganography, which comes under embedded data. Next we'll see protection and collection of digital evidence. In that we'll see the two key concepts, that is volatility and chain of custody. Volatility, it states that how the digital evidence can be changed, lost, or destroyed by some external factors like power loss, user actions, malware infection, or by some normal operations of the device particularly. So for example, if we turn off a computer, then some temporary data or transient evidence may lost, which is stored in the memory. So volatility, it affects the reliability or admissibility of the particular evidence. Hence, the volatile evidence must be collected and preserved as soon as possible before it is changed or erased. Next important concept in the process of protection and collection of digital evidence is chain of custody. Chain of custody is the sequential process which maintains the detailed logs of the digital evidence from the time which it is collected till it is presented in the court. So basically it deals with tracking and handling of the movement of digital evidence. For example, if we collect a USB drive from a crime scene, then we should document and record who collected it, from where it was collected, when it was collected, and why it was collected. Also, if we transfer that evidence to someone else or to any storage location, then we should mention to whom we transferred that evidence, when and why. So the chain of custody form includes the date, time, location, the name of person, and the reason for each step during the investigation process. So chain of custody is very much important in digital forensics process because it ensures that the integrity and authenticity of digital evidence is prevented throughout the process, and also it is protected from any kind of alteration or contamination during the investigation process. Next is the investigation process and different phases involved in it. So basically, digital forensic investigation process is comprised of 6 phases, that is identification, preservation, collection, analysis, documentation, and preservation. We'll see all these steps one by one. Identification. Digital forensic process starts with identifying the incident or cybercrime which is reported by any user or it is detected through the indicator. So this is the phase where the investigator identifies the source and location of the digital evidence. Next step, it is preservation. It involves securing and isolating the systems to prevent it from any further damage and also document the physical crime scene and relevant information for the investigation purpose. So in this preservation phase, the evidence is preserved by isolating, securing, and also by duplicating the original evidence for the next phase. So the next phase is collection. In this phase, the digital evidence is collected, ensuring its integrity and preserving the original data. So, in this phase, the investigator collects the evidence by extracting the data from the device or media using different tools and techniques. Next, it is analysis phase. In this phase, the evidence is examined to gather relevant information for the investigation. In documentation phase, the investigator documents the evidence by collecting a detailed and accurate report of the exact findings and conclusions by supporting them with proper facts and evidence. Presentation. In this phase, the investigator presents the digital evidence by communicating the results of the investigation process with the intended audience. Intended audience may involve law enforcement agencies or court. So we'll see this phase is based on one example. So the first step, it is identification. So for example, there is a case about unauthorized access to sensitive financial data. So in the first phase, the team will identify the system and the data involved, that is the suspicious activity. In the next step, after identifying the issue, the team will preserve the state of the affected system to prevent it from any kind of alteration. So this involves creating an image of the evidence, that is forensic image. In the next phase, the team gathers the relevant evidence, like they may collect the log files, the system image, the network data, or also they may capture the network packets, as this is a case of suspicious activity. So one may capture the packets to analyze the communication between the compromised system and the external source. In the next step, that is analysis, the team will use different tools and techniques for analyzing the data which is collected in the previous step. In the documentation stage, the team will create a detailed report documenting their findings, which may include the information about the nature of the incident, timeline of different evidence events occurred, evidence is collected, and the tools used in the investigation process. In the last step, that is presentation, the team will present all those findings and the reports along with the evidences and the facts which they have collected throughout the investigation process to the law enforcement agencies. So the last point is tools. Tools for digital forensics are the software or hardware based tools that helps the investigator to perform various tasks during the investigation process. So they are broadly categorized into three types, that is imaging tools, extraction tools, and analysis tools. Imaging tools. These are the tools that create an exact copy of the image of a digital device or media, that is bit by bit copies of the digital evidences, to protect those evidences from any changes or alterations. So it includes FTK imager, NCase. These both are the software based tools, while Tableau and Falcon, these are the hardware based imaging tools. Next, it is extraction tools. These are the tools that are used for extracting the data from a device or media for analysis purpose. So the examples of extraction tools are Autopsy, Celebrite, Xviz. These are the tools that can extract the files, documents, images, and videos from any digital device. Last, it is analysis tools. These tools analyze the data from digital device, like EXIF tools, Hashcat, Nmap are some of the tools that analyze the packets, protocols, IP address, or metadata of the files. So these are some images of the digital forensic tools. In this, Tableau and Falcon, these both are hardware-based tools which are used for creating a forensic image of the original evidence, while Access Data and Encase are used for imaging also and extraction also. And EXIF tool and Autopsy are used for analysis of the data which is gathered from extraction. To wrap it up, we'll see the conclusion. Digital forensics is a evolving and challenging field which requires technical, analytical, and legal skills or knowledge for handling the digital devices or evidences. It helps in investigation of cases like civil cases, criminal cases, or personal interest cases by providing relevant facts and evidences. The field of digital forensics comes with a lot of challenges and issues like ethical issues, privacy concerns, security risks, or legal implications. Ethical issues arise while dealing with confidential information. Privacy concerns arise while dealing with personal information. In case of security risk, the process of investigation should be followed properly as there are risks of compromising the security of the data or the system throughout the process. And in legal implications, the process of investigation should be according to the legal standards. So the evidence could be admissible in the court of law. So this was all about digital forensics, digital evidence investigation process and the tools involved in the investigation process. Thank you for watching the video.